change? Change is constantly having adjustments, needing God every day. And if you don't believe in God, gratitude. Because a grateful person will not pick up a drink. And if you're having an issue with God, I have some ideas for you. G-O-D. Good orderly direction. G-O-D. Group of drunks. G-O-D. Gift of desperation. Gratitude or death. Good old dad. The great outdoors. There's plenty of things I could use, and if you don't want to use any of those, use the thing that gives us the most unconditional love and is loyal. It's God backwards. Dog. Okay? Because dogs get us an unconditional love. And let me tell you something. I bottle fed 2 kittens from birth, and those little things, I was like, I'm not a cat person. I am not a cat person. But those little kittens saved my life. They teach me about love and taking care of something. And it's interesting because I had to put one down when it was a little over 6 years old. And that was one of the most challenging times in my sobriety. My heart was so broken that I left the vet and I immediately went to an AA meeting. And I just cried the whole entire meeting. Just cried. And it's interesting how sometimes God sends these little angels with 4 legs. See, I prayed to God. I wanted to have 6 kids. And I do have 6 kids. But I should have been more specific in my prayers because my 6 kids have 4 legs. You know, they don't have 2 legs. You know, it's like, hey, okay, God, they got to be specific in the prayers. And it's interesting because when I was 14 years sober, I thought I was teaching at Pacific Beach Middle School, and I thought I was going to retire there. And I got excessed. I got bumped by somebody who was only there for 3 years. And so I was devastated. And once again, suicidal. I didn't want to drink. I just want to die. But I know in order to die, I needed to drink, and I didn't want to drink. So what I did was I went to the counseling office to talk to a counselor. They weren't there, so I talked to the secretary. And let me tell you something. If you're an alcoholic like I am, do not share your thoughts with a normie. They do not get us, okay? So I went there, and I said, okay, here's what I do. I'm crying. I would drink, and then I drink some more, then I get in my car and drive up to the Coronado Bridge and jump off. And in the meantime, I'm just crying. I'm crying, getting all the stuff out. And then I put the water on my face. I was ready to go back to teach my class. I went back to my office. There were 2 police officers waiting for me. This is at 14 years of sobriety, okay? So I walk in there, and they said, we need to take you somewhere, young lady. I went, thank God one of the police officers' husband was in NA. She totally understood. And I said, look, there's an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting right down the street. Why don't you take me there? 14 years of sobriety, I'm taken in a police car and dropped off at an AA meeting. You know, if you want one, I have, you know, right? I mean, what kind of attraction, not promotion? And it's interesting. Just because I am sober does not mean I don't go through hard times. And on my holidays, a lot of times, I volunteer on my brother's farm. And I've learned so much from these cows. So much. You know, when he only had 36 cows, we were transferring the cows from one side of the road to another pasture on the other side of the road. And so we go all the way back there, and all the cows are, 35 of them are over. There's one missing. And I've always called that one cow the alcoholic cow. That's the alcoholic cow that limps and, oh man, I feel sorry for me. Pour me another drink. You know how we get into that pity pot stuff. And so we finally get to the cow to the road. By this time, all the other cows, you can't see them. So this cow thinks it's going to die. And it lets out this moo I've never heard before, ever from a cow. I looked at my brother, and we looked at each other. What's that? All of a sudden, within a minute and a half, all 35 of the other cows started running to the fence, saying, it's okay, we're over here, you're not going to die, you're not going to get eaten, you know. And it's interesting because it reminded me of AA. Because it says, whenever anybody, anywhere, reaches out their hand for Alcoholics Anonymous, I want the hand of AA to be there. But we need to pick up the phone. We need to ask for help. That cow could have just sat there in silence and not just sat there on the pity pot and not said anything. So if you're having a hard time, move and pick up the phone and call your sponsor, call somebody, because I've had recent sponsees say, oh yeah, I want you to be my sponsor. Sure, call me every day for the next week. Do I hear from them? No. Sometimes. Oh, then I run into them in another meeting. I go, just pick up the phone and call me. Call me. Get that exercise. Pick up the phone. Not texting, because I had a sponsee that would always check in texting, and she was drunk texting. Okay? I can't tell you, I can't listen to you and see, if I talk to you, I know you're drunk by your slurring, your speech. And stuff. If you're texting, I don't know if you're having a hard time. But first of all, if you want to drink, pick up the phone first. Pick up the phone first. And it's okay to want to drink. And it's okay to decide to drink, but still not pick up the drink. And it's okay to not be not okay in these rooms. Because the good, the bad, the indifferent, everything passes. Everything passes. You know, I love that this is my church. My mom goes, do you want to go to Mass with us on Sunday when I go home? Mom, no. No, I don't want to go to Mass with you. When I get in the car and they pick me up, they're listening to the rosary over and over again on the CD. Mom, Dad, okay, can we put some music on? I mean, my mom should have been a nun. And honestly, if Alcoholics Anonymous had nuns, I'll be a nun. Or if they have cheerleaders, I'd be a cheerleader. You know, and it's interesting because this is my church. And Alcoholics Anonymous, it's a spiritual program. Religion is man-made. Spirituality is God-given. Religion causes the world to have wars. Spirituality causes the world to hold hands. See, I like that I can go anywhere in the world and hold somebody's hands and we can say the Serenity Prayer. Doesn't matter if they're atheist, agnostic, Hare Krishna, doesn't matter. We pray to our own God. That's why I love this program. It's to thine own self be true. But AA is just not Alcoholics Anonymous. It is also an attitude adjustment. What is our attitude? Our attitude is our thought life turned outward. You want to have a good attitude? Change your thinking. Thoughts turn into words. Words turn into actions. Actions turn into habits. Habits determine our character. And our character ultimately decides our destiny. It all goes back to my thinking. And I thought I had to be positive to do things positively. I thought I had to think positive before I could act positive. But I've learned that this is a program of action, not a program of thinking. So I act my way into good thinking. See, the first steps, 1 and 2, are just conclusions of the mind. They're not working steps. Anybody in here, if you're an alcoholic, you have already done 1 and 2. 3, I get down with my sponsor and I say the 3rd step prayer. I turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him. Will is my thinking. Life is my actions. The 4th step, I get down and do all the inventory. The 5th step, I share all that stuff. The 6th and 7th step, I have that all in my 5th step. I get rid of the selfish, self-centered, self-seeking, frightened, inconsiderate stuff. I ask God to, relieve me from the bondage of self daily. The 9th step, when people cross my path, I make amends for the things that I did. I don't tell them, go into detail. Oh yeah, I cheated on your. I don't tell them that's going to hurt some. I'm not going to say anything that's going to hurt them. I say, look, when I was out there drinking, I did stupid stuff and I hurt a lot of people, and you were one of those, and I'm so sorry. A lot of times they go, I don't know what you're talking about. That's what I realize. The 10th step is when I make a mistake, I make amends right then and there. 11 is prayer and meditation. 12, I go to meetings. I reach out my hand to alcoholics. We have a choice every day when we get up. Are we going to be positive or negative? And even if I feel negative, I could act positively. And I brought props today because it's interesting. There's something about props and seeing stuff. Because every day we have a choice. Are we going to be an Eeyore or are we going to be a Tigger? Okay? Let me tell you something. In the mornings when I wake up, I'm an Eeyore. Oh, man. I got to go to work. I got to do, you know what? And then Tigger goes, woo, there's a lot of people that would like your job. What do you think about that? You know, and I'm like, get up and go. The kids need you. I have a choice every day. What am I going to be? Am I going to be positive or negative? And it's interesting because I'm going to, you know, I don't want to go over here, but it's interesting because I believe the most challenging thing to do in Alcoholics Anonymous is to live one day at a time. It's so easy to beat ourselves for the past, for things that we did or did not do, and to get into anxiety and fears about tomorrow, even later on tonight. It's interesting because my coworkers laugh at me because they'll ask, well, what about next week? And they, oh, never mind. You're not even thinking about next week. You're trying to get through the day. You know, they know that it's too overwhelming for me sometimes. That's why I love the Lord's Prayer. It says, give us this day our daily bread. It does not say, give me a loaf of bread to last me a week. That means I have enough strength for these 24 hours, and that's it. That's it. And the way the 24 hours is divided into is 3 8-hour segments. 8 hours to go to work, 8 hours to do stuff around the house, run errands, do this, prayer and meditation, relax, take a nap, whatever. And then the last 8 hours to sleep to get over the previous 16 hours so we could do it all over again. If I could have excitement every day as if I was planning a holiday and getting ready to go on vacation. You know how you get excited when you're getting ready to go vacation? That's the way we should feel every day about being a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous. See, I just used to be a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. I drink outside in the parking lot and come and sit in these rooms because I did not think I could get this. If this drunk can get this, you can get this. I promise you. I promise you, if you want to drink, go for a 10-minute walk. It usually lasts about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, that craving is so strong. See, and it's obsession of the mind. I needed to think the whole drink through. That means if I was to pick up a drink today, I don't pick up where I left off 25 years ago. If I was to pick up a drink today, I would pick up as if I was drinking the past 25 years where I would be at. That's why sometimes when people haven't drank for a long time and they drink, they're dead within 6 months because it was so progressive. And so if you're in these rooms, the disease of alcoholism has one goal for each one of us in here, and that's to put us each 6 feet under. But if it can't put us 6 feet under, it will be happy with us being in jails and institutions, or even more so, in and out of these rooms, unhappy. I used to be one of those people in these rooms unhappy. I was a pity pot queen. I felt sorry for myself, and I realized I wasn't reaching out my hands to newcomers. That's how I feel better, is helping others. If you have a problem, put your problem on the back burner and go help somebody else solve their problem. And I promise you, when you go back to deal with your problem God took care of. It's amazing how that works. Amazing. And it's interesting because I have a couple sayings in my house to remind me. And I'm going to end with these sayings because it means so much to me. You know, we say in AA, if you have 1 foot in tomorrow and 1 foot in yesterday, you're pissing all over today. And then they say, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's a gift. That's why we call it the present. And then I have this saying on my wall. It says, I was regretting the past and fearing the future. And I heard my God say to me, when you're in the past with all its regret and shame, it is difficult. My name is not I was. And when you're in the future with all its anxieties and fears, it is difficult, because my God says my name is not I will be. But when you're in this moment, this precious moment, it is not hard, because my God says my name is I am. The power isn't here and now. Lack of power was our dilemma. We get a higher power that we turn our stuff over to. We create a God box. When we have anything going on, get a shoe box, make it God's box, decorate it. Anything going on in your mind, date it. Dear God, I give you the situation. This is what I'd like to happen, but thy will be done, and put it in there. There's something about that action that gets it out of your head from playing bumper pool at night that makes you be able to sleep at night. And then when you think about it, it's like, oh, wait, I gave it to God. And then every 6 months or so, go through that box, and it increases your faith muscle. Because you go, oh, that was answered. Oh, that was answered. Oh, that was answered. Oh, this one needs to go back in there. Still working on that one. Oh, still working on that one. But you realize, you know what? You don't even know what you were worried with a year ago. So I just want to thank you very much for celebrating my 25th birthday. And it's more important to me than my belly button birthday. And if you heard anything tonight, I just want to say thank you. Don't thank me. Thank you. Because you were open to receive it. And I'm telling you, don't quit before the miracle. Because my life is beyond my wildest dreams. I never thought I would be as blessed as I am today. And I have you, all the people in Alcoholics Anonymous, and my God, my family, my mother's prayers to thank. So keep putting one foot in front of the other. Don't quit before the miracle. I just claim a blessing on you that God is going to bless you in an abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. And keep coming back no matter what. Thanks for letting me share.